All right, guys, this is an island update before I bring the tiller up here and destroy all this growth that you see here. I'm not planting today. I've already got all my planting in for the main plot, but the island is next. I will start on this tomorrow. I'm just coming up here to do one final review and give you a hint about soil testing. It is a flat out miracle when you see my soil test results that I have what I have here. A lot of tonnage is dead. And you're probably looking at this going, no way. Tonnage is not dead. You've done really well for yourself. No, there is dead tonnage, and a lot of it. There are a lot of species up here that did not survive through the spring green up. Only certain ones made it. A lot of the others are gone. So there should have been turnips in here. Should have been daikon radish. A lot of the clover is dead. A lot. Winter peas have done extremely well. So as far as what's growing in bad soil, rye is number one and peas are number two. Everything else has a problem. So this has limited my species. This has limited the undergrowth. This is my main focus. Even though I can grow rye really tall, you need undergrowth to go with it in order to get super fast soil building abilities. Therefore, it catapults your soil into the next level. Without that catapult, you're going to take a long time to fix your soil. It may triple or quadruple the amount of time to fix soil if you can't build a lot of soil real quick, especially real fertile soil where your microbes can thrive in this. There are marks against my bacteria, a lot of marks, but it is surviving in here and it's doing the best job it can. Under here, as far as like when I'm talking about undergrowth, any species besides rye to me is considered undergrowth. So clovers especially, this should be something that is so thick you can't see the ground. We are missing large, vast quantities of extra tonnage that deer can eat. You're also missing out on the rate of soil building, like I mentioned before, and you're having far less food for worms and bacteria. So when I come in later and take all this stuff down, there's only going to be a more limited window for worms and bacteria to eat this. And eventually my fertilizer fuel will run out much quicker here than it can in the main plot. I've still got rotting material from last year in the main plot. That ought to tell you something, because here it's already all gone, and the only rotting debris I have is tree leaves in here that I didn't blow out of here, which is kind of holding over the bacteria, and or any dead plants that have perished. Clover and turnips, all that undergrowth, those type of species decay very rapidly. So there's not going to be a long window for the microbes to eat something. They'll have that nice burst if your clover's dying, but then that's it. It's over. Then you got to wait on the rest of this right here to feed your soil and your next crop. The only reason there are green patches in here is I fertilized quite heavily back here because this was growing so bad. I dumped a lot of fertilizer, which is that azomite, sorry for the mispronunciation, and in order to strengthen these plants. I do believe that this has rapidly improved the cell structure of the plants. So by boosting the silica, these plants are not falling over like they was last year. The island is a big deceiver in food plots. If you saw this, you would probably think you're in good shape when you're not. This right here is pretty green, but you're missing undergrowth. There should have been other species in here with this rye. It's just barely there. There's some okay patches, but in general, over 80% of this is dead. Major red flag. Something is wrong. And this island is full of red flags for me. Deer are not getting the nutrition they need here. I will go ahead and tell you that straight up right now. They are not. Now, based on what I done here years ago, when I started this project and this soil was a white caked soil, that soil is dead. When your soil is white like what I experienced up here, your soil is microbially dead, which means there was no good bacteria in here whatsoever. It would be dominated by bad bacteria, and that soil test proves that. Bad bacteria make acidic ground. They make things bad. It robs you of nutrition. That's why you got a lime. Well, guess what? When you see the results, you're going to see what I'm talking about. That's the biggest hint I'm going to give you. But in general, there are patches in here that look promising. And, you know, green patches like what's in front of you here, that's from that huge brush pile that I burned. It's literally absorbing all the trees that I burned out of this area. And eventually that system is going to dry up if I don't have bacteria helping me recycle, either pull out of the air, pull out of the soil. If the bacteria is not here to do that, this will run out. It'll take a little bit, but eventually it will cycle out. So you have to be careful when you're in bad soil like this. I have hopes and dreams of making this area a very highly nutritious plot. I don't care about like plant size. I don't want to have, you know, I'm saying, hey, look how tall my rye is. It's 12 feet tall now. If you're missing nutrition, it doesn't matter how tall your rye is. Especially this here. All right, I can go ahead and say, oh, look, we're right here at 6 feet. We're very, very close to 6 feet here. That's taller than me. But does it matter when nutrition is lacking? The answer to me is it does not. If nutrition is good, then the big, tall, healthy looking stuff will show up on its own. That's fine. That just tells me I'm more concerned about nutrition. There can be weeds in here, and I'm not over here with a sprayer constantly hitting these weeds. That's fine. Like right here. Look, this stuff here is what people would probably consider weeds, but I know deer eat briars, right? Why would you want this in here? Hey, deer eat it. It's fine. I don't have to come in here and spray everything out. There's all kinds of weeds that you can see as undergrowth that is in here. That should have been clover. Instead, we have weeds. It's something in my soil for right now. That's fine. Over here, we don't have anything. This is growing so flimsy. I'm very fortunate this is basically still standing at this point. We have deformed seed heads. Some of them barely had enough energy to produce. See, I've had rye heads more than twice that size easily. So that tells me there's something way off up here. This crimson clover is weakening faster than it should be. That's a sign that nutrition is bad. There's all kinds of things in here I can point out to you that tells you how bad this ground is. And as long as you're keeping yourself grounded in reality on what your soil actually is, I'll go ahead and tell you, you know what my reality is? This soil is garbage. And garbage can be turned into another man's treasure if you let it. And this will become a treasure when I'm done with it. I'm going to keep working this. I'm going to fix what I can. I also want to note several things here. This type of plot goes against about every rule in soil testing. Stay away from trees. Don't be near trees. where am I going to go to do soil testing? It's impossible. There are roots all through here. So I have to do the best I can. I took about 4 samples from end to end here. And then I took 3 more in the back corner. And then I took another 3 samples, or 3 or 4 samples, basically from here to the back corner. Okay, there's not much I can do up here when it comes to soil testing. There's just too many trees, too many roots. So I'm going to have to fertilize, at least until I get this ground up and running, to counter trees. So here's another trick. When a soil test comes back and they tell you, let's say, you got to put out 2,000 pounds per acre of lime, or 500 pounds of phosphorus. I know that these are just made up numbers, okay? That soil testing company does not understand the conditions your plot is in. These trees are going to drastically change those numbers. So 500 pounds may become 1,000. 2,000 pounds of lime may become 3,000 pounds of lime if it's, you know, in pine trees like that. If it's all pines, you may have to go heavier to counter pines. Nitrogen is going to be a big problem. These trees have siphoned as a lot of nutrition out of these top layers of soil. It is practically a dead soil that I am reviving. I knew this would be a hard journey, but I am a very patient person, and I think the spring and summer blends will do much better just by tweaking a few issues. The lime is one that I intend to fix. I will put out probably, instead of 500 pounds, I'll probably put out anywhere from 700 to 800 up here. Because remember, in order to do the recommended, let's say it was recommended at 2,000, and that's only get your pH to 6.5. I want my pH in that 6.8 to 7. So I need a little more lime to push it to that point. So be mindful of that if you have certain pH goals in mind. I would prefer to be 6.8 to 7. Worms are a must. I found one. I finally found one worm, and he was over near that stump. One worm. This soil is atrocious. So we're going to build from here. We're going to grow this place, turn it into something that's going to give deer good enough nutrition that I can see a difference in their bodies. That's the goal. All right, guys. This is kind of a down in the island video, but what looks bad now will become something fantastic in the future. Just hang on, be patient. Let's see what happens when I keep doing these crop cycles, because I'm telling you right now, it's a miracle what I'm looking at, that I've got something this good. It's not good, but it's good enough that it could fool you into thinking you're in better shape than what you are. All right, so hope you like this video. Hit that like and subscribe button. I will go into deeper dives on soil testing. It's going to be a must. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a loop of a guessing game, and you're going to be left with probably something like this. And we don't want that. That's better than last year. That's sad. All right, guys, have a good one.